What is up? My name is VisionXE and today I'll give you my ultimate list of VST plugins that I've used to produce songs for Roddy Ricch, G-Herbo, Doughboy and many more. I've packed this list with exclusive industry secrets, a ton of free plugins and my personal top 5 plugins that I would get if I had to start from scratch again. So stick around until the end to make sure you don't miss any of the gems. So first, we're gonna start with the paid plugins, specifically with the sound generators. The first one is the Korg Bundle. Specifically, I'm talking about the M1, the Wave Station, and the Triton. These 3 plugins are gonna be your best friend when it comes to vintage sounding synths. You can find anything from the standard house piano to like crazy synth pads, super crazy saw leads and everything in the Triton, in the M1 and the Wave Station. And you can also find drums in here. You will find all kinds of vintage sounds used in like the 80s, 90s, 2000s, in that kind of lane. So the Triton, Wave Station and the M1 are probably my most used generators. You can get them all together in a bundle on the Korg website. We also have the Arturia Bundle, including Analog Lab, Melodyne, Prophet, the Juno. Everybody should know this by now. This is like a stock standard, very good bundle. Has some of the best synths, emulations, has most presets. It's just all around an insanely valuable product, you know? Next we have Zenology. Don't be fooled by this little plugin, because if you go into it, you can see how many presets there are. And it is like extremely versatile. You have everything from like flutes to pianos. You have synths. So you got basses, you got vocals, you got everything in here. If you only got one plugin to get, this would probably be the best idea, because you have like a million presets and you have like a different variety. So you can actually make like all kinds of genres with these plugins, from soul to like Mike Dean cinematic outros. Listen to these luscious pads and these synth bass, like synth brasses. It's crazy. Definitely one of my favorites. Okay, so now for like the paid generators, this is probably the cheapest one and the most bang for your buck. Everybody should know this by now. XPAND. Either I got it for like for free with my keyboard, or I got it for like $2 or something. If there's like a crazy sale going on, you can get this for like €1 sometimes. For the price, it has like some of the best sounds and it's very versatile. It doesn't quite have as many presets as Zenology, but that's why it's just so cheap, you know? And even just like as an example, the default sound is like one of my favorite sounds in here. Just a very nice pad. Crazy. You got some of the like most iconic presets in here. You've got everything from ambience to loops and percussion. So if you want to get something for very cheap and you're on a budget, just still want to pay some money and get some great sounds, this is something I would recommend. By the way, all these MIDIs I'm playing are from the Cymatics Legends pack. Just makes it super easy for me to like preview samples, get ideas and go through sounds. So if you want to check that out, it's also in the description, but back to it. Just listen to this, bro. Crazy. The Sawto Square is actually the one I use in Ghetto Superstar, the Roddy Ricch song. I'm a ghetto superstar like I'm ODB. The reverse sound you can hear is the Sawto Square sound, just like played in a MIDI and then reversed. So there are obviously a million different VSTs that are like good, like Context, obviously one of them. It's great, but it's obviously very expensive. I don't really use it that much. Yo! My light grid just crashed on me, but obviously there are a ton of generators, like paid ones, like I mentioned. These are the ones that I use 99% of the time. The price to like what you get are like the best, basically. The next thing I'm gonna go to is paid effects. For the effects, I've got to start with the Cymatics bundle, the paid ones. This is probably like my most used like delay / creative plugin. Like Illusion is just, I don't know, it's a masterpiece. If you're looking to like emulate that pedal feeling, this is your go-to plugin right here. This and some of the free ones that I'm about to mention later are gonna be like your best bet. So this is also very insane, which is a good combination, is Cymatics Space. Unironically, this and the fruity Convolver, which is like the fruity stock plugin. Reverb are my favorite reverbs and like spaces and stuff. So Cymatics Space also has a light version. So if you wanna try it out and give it a shot, you can obviously do that. By the way, you will find all the plugins down in the description. I've got so many paid effects written down. Let me just speed through a couple so we can get to the free ones at the end way faster. So we have Melodyne to figure out the MIDI pattern, the chord progression and the bass lines. Next we have Pitchwheel to manipulate the pitch while we make a sample, while we make a beat. We have a simple plugin, Transient Master, to really give your drums more attack, take away some attack and just give them a really nice punch, that kick, to make them really hit. We have the Soundtoys bundle with Echo Boy, Decapitator, Effect Rack, all these for all kinds of purposes. Echo Boy is probably my favorite delay plugin after Illusion. Use it on every sample. We also have the Goodhertz bundle with probably one of my favorite mixing plugins, which is Midside Matrix. We also have the Wolf compressor and the Wow control in here, which are like crazy versatile and great plugins for all kinds of different genres and like styles. We also have Reels, which is my personal favorite tape emulation. I just feel like I get the best sound out of it. If you don't want to buy a plugin like that, you can also use the Cymatics Origin, which is a free plugin. You can get that on the website. Basically that's the same. I just really like the Reels sound and what it does, you know? And lastly, for the speed round, is Guitar Rig. Obviously, if you have guitars and you want to amp them up, give them effects, all this kind of stuff, it's great. Guitar Rig can also be used on synths, on drums. You just gotta be a little bit creative and you can come up with some crazy effects chains within Guitar Rig. That's why it's also in here. So these are my two favorite mixing plugins. First up, the God Particle, which is so crazy. This masters the track for you, basically. This just turns everything up, makes it louder without really messing with the levels. I have the God Particle on every master right here. If I'm making a sample, if I'm making a beat, it's a little bit different, but if I make a sample, it's always right there. And this is basically the last plugin in my chain. Sooth, on the other hand, I use when I need it. I personally struggle a lot with the lower mids when mixing, and there are just certain presets in here that just are magical, you know. This low mid rescue is like my favorite preset in here. Just to play a little bit with the depth, you know, a little bit with the sharpness, and you get like a crazy result every single time. And you don't really have to do anything because like the plugin basically does it for you. Now let's get to a little bit more of the creative mixing stuff, like the pedal-ish kind of stuff. We obviously have Portal, one of my most like used plugins. You can obviously do a million different things with it, but this is what it does right now. This is the normal sample, and this is with Portal. We also have getting this ear candy in there, getting these little textures, these little like grainy stuff into your samples. Portal is like really great for that. We also have Convolver. This is obviously like a reverb-ish plugin, it's a Convolver, but this has some crazy presets. Just listen to this. So this is normal. And then you have stuff like and if you're trying to get that pedal kind of feel to your samples or to your melodies, this is one of my favorite ones. We also have the UnplugRED bundle. I think it's like a girl that does it like independently. So this is like a very creative site, and you have all these plugins. You can get like demo versions and free versions. The Prisma is really nice. The Crumble is probably my favorite one. This is like a delay-ish, pedal-ish sound. As you can see, you have like ping pong mode, you have like reverse, and she brings out like a new plugin every couple months basically, and it's like always high quality, very unique and very great. So I can definitely recommend this. You can try this also for free as well. As you can see, like Prisma right here, you have like your frequency bands, low, mid, and high, and then you can add like effects to like this certain frequency bands. Being able to add like different effects to different frequency bands is like very nice. So that's it for the paid plugins. Obviously, there are a ton more. You can always like name them in the comments. I would love to hear some new plugins that I've missed. But now we're getting to the real source for you guys, the free plugins. And I found some very, very interesting ones. So let's get into it. So we're gonna start with Ripchord. If you have no idea about chords and stuff and you want to like make crazy chord progressions, then Ripchord is like the perfect plugin for you. This is how it works. You open the piano or like any other generator, you go into Ripchord, go to the wrench tool, put it output to 0. In the piano, you go input to 0, and now you're basically able to play chords with like one button. And then we can just make a chord progression. So this is our chord progression. Now we can record it, pressing this button, just letting it play. And then we can stop. And now we can press this and hold and just move it into a sampler, you know? And now we have the chord right here, super simple. So this is definitely like a plugin for people that have less idea of music theory and just want crazy chords and be able to like still play chord progressions, even though they might not be able to like play the chords. So now I'm gonna use this chord progression to show you guys the free generators, and I found some really good ones. So let's start with Search XT. This looks crazy and it sounds crazy, which is like the good thing, you know? If you go on the left side, you have the factory patches, so these come with the ones. And now right here you have like community ones basically. So you can just go here and you have more. Just listen to this, bro. And these sounds are like clean. Definitely a really good one to get. This is also going to be an effects part, but Surge also comes with an effects plugin, and you have a ton of different effects, rotary, chorus, tape, everything, you know? So the next free one we're going to go for is Synth 1. This looks old, because it is, but old sometimes is gold, you know what I'm saying? Let's do this raw. Crazy synth brass has the first preset, and as you can see, we have a ton of different ones. Great, yeah. Sick. In this program, for free, like I said, 128, more like vintage synth presets that are great for all kinds of genres. So next we have Tone 2 Firebird. Tone 2 is, if I'm not mistaken, the company that made Electra X, and this one right here is free. Like I said, it's all synths, so you can make your own sounds. I cared a lot about presets when I looked for these, because I know a lot of people don't want to make their own sounds and they just want to use presets, which is completely fine. So that's why we have a ton of different presets right here. You have a ton of different pads, keys, crazy. We have Tunefish, probably my favorite one of the free ones. This is for like rage stuff, EDM stuff. Everything from like pads to leads to basses to like a lot of like great basses in here. You have like cool leads. You have weird presets, you have cool presets. There's a lot of things you can do with this one. I chose this one because I really like the presets in here. We also have Synister. If you want to make sounds and get into it, this is probably one of the easiest synths to do so. You have your oscillators, envelopes, LFOs. The more you go down, the more you can do. So right here, it comes with a couple different presets that you can try out. And you can play around with that, add effects to that, delays, chorus, lo-fi clip, even have a step sequencer in there. So if you want to learn how to make synths, this is a pretty good plugin to do so. We have a VK1 Viking synthesizer, which is like great for like basses and stuff. If you're looking for bass sounds, synth bass sounds, and like unique sounds, like bass heavy inspired or like lead inspired, this is your go-to plugin. This is like insane when it comes to like these kind of sounds. So definitely a must-have actually for free plugins. If you're looking for a synthesizer that's like Serum basically, Vital is free. This is probably the most like complete synthesizer that you can get for free. There's just so much to go over here that basically needs its own video. It's basically Serum, just looks a little bit different, but it does the same thing. And it's free. So if you want to try that and you're looking for something complete, this is your plugin. We also have Labs from Spitfire Audio. Great plugin. It's insane. There's also Decent Sampler, which is like the little brother of Contact, which is free. If you're looking for libraries, you can just go to Piano Book. This is number one. You have like 1400 sample packs, everything from like strings, like recorded strings, to pianos, to synthesizers. You can find anything on here. Great website in general. You should definitely try this out. Even if you already have Contact, you can find some really cool and weird sounds on here. This is pretty much it for the generators. Now we get to the plugins, like the effects, the free effects basically. So the free effects, we obviously gotta start with the Cymatics ones. Memory is probably the best chorus plugin. It's so easy to use and it's so insane. I love this preset right here. Occasional glitch is so good. It's just so good. And it's free, it's easy to use. We obviously have Deja Vu. It's basically growth speed or halftime in a nutshell for free. Sounds great. If you're looking for a chorus, a phaser, I can definitely recommend this Blue Cat chorus and Blue Cat phaser. Just great sounding chorus and phaser overall. You have a ton of different like presets as well. This great sounding chorus and phaser in general. We have Varispeed, which is one of my favorite ways to texture something. This is normally a delay. I kind of don't use it as a delay. You can, but I don't. What I do is turn this all the way down and then Varispeed up or down. And now I turn it into not a delay plugin, like I turned it into a texture plugin basically. It sounds kind of like a tape delay, but it sounds different, you know, it has a different character. If you're trying to make like dark trap samples or like Q-beats, vintage sounding trap samples, it's really a must. Okay, now to some insane plugins. If you are after that pedal sound, that texturized, we have the whole DB cloud. So DB Crusher, DB Glitch, DB Stretch, but DB Glitch is the main one. This looks intimidating, but it's not. You basically use this right here, and you can go in here and select an effect. Let's say we want the reverser. So we can go in here and paint like the reverse stuff. And now we can go in, mix it, have like EQs or like filters. Let's say we like this, but we want some more. And we can maybe do like a stretcher right here. So we can go in right here, go to this effect right here because it's 9. And then let's say we want this part stretched. You have different like pattern banks that you can use. You have templates. You can randomize it. You have master effects, the overdrive. This is like endless possibilities. It's basically effect tricks for melodies. You can even use it on like hi-hats. Definitely, I recommend this one. The next one, probably one of my favorite ones, is Autochroma. On the website it says it's paid. I used the demo and for some reason the demo just kept working. So I just put it in the free stuff. I really love like grainy stuff. With Autochroma, what I like to do is play a sample like this and then just record like this and then just swap through Autochroma and record the whole thing, and then I have like a very long audio recording of a lot of like different like grains, and then I go in and cut parts out that I like and puzzle them together like a puzzle. For the last one, we have a very special one. I didn't think it would be this good, but it's called Fragmental. It looks really cool and it's a multi-effects plugin, and it can do normal stuff like choruses, but as you can tell, it can do some damage to your audio file. It basically works like this, so the effects go in this order. You obviously don't have to use all effects, you can just turn them down like this, and let's say you can only use the delay and the granulator, but you know, you can do some. Yo, listen to this. This is so crazy, you know? So this has to do with like the mod sources, and you can blend like the mod sources basically and like add stuff like this, which is nuts. If I go like back here, you can even draw like the LFO in there if you want to, an envelope. If you're going for that pedally sound, it's probably a plugin with one of the most potential. If you really put in the time and learn this, then you can get some insane sounds out of this. So these are all the free effects plugins. These were like a lot, like in general, like a lot of plugins. And I know I really went deep and looked for some great plugins for you guys that you can't really find in any like tutorial on YouTube. These are just the plugins I use on a daily basis. To recap, let's say I can only pick 5 plugins. The first one would be the God Particle. I just use it too much. It's just so good. It just makes my beats and samples sound so good. The next one would be Soothe. Same thing here. These 2 plugins are going to clear my mix and I'm fine, you know? I don't need anything else for the mixing except maybe one EQ. Now I would get the Korg Bundle. The Korg Bundle means basically the M1, the Wave Station, the Triton, and everything that's in there, you know, but these three are like my main ones. I would also get the Zenology. I would get Illusion because it's like my delay plugin here. I've been using it every day. It's so insane, and you can like really get normal delays out of it. You can even get like choruses out of it if you use it right. I would also get the Analog Lab bundle because there's like a chorus in there. There's some nice sounds in there. There's some real sounding sounds with like pianos, the Melodyne. So I hope you could take something away from this. You can find the PDF in the description with all the download links in there, so you don't have to like search the web. Make sure to get that. Make sure to get all these free plugins to source up your beats and melodies. And that's pretty much it. Peace out.